Welcome everyone. Nicole is in Denver this week at a corporate event. I'm a bit jealous.
No kidding.
She's probably having a lot of fun. I apologize that my voice has slowly started to dissipate the last couple days. I don't know why. But yeah, so I'll try to minimize the amount of suffering you guys have to speak about. Scams, no scams to report, thankfully. We have the golf event June 18th for Remax of Michigan. If anybody's trying to go to that, June 18th, there's details. But Brent, I think has a weekly update.
Yep, I created a video for you guys, just a real short video, detailing a security issue that everyone has to worry about. So here we go.
And now, a short film by your IT department.
Hey, look over there.
Gem in your Wi-Fi cameras. If you use Wi-Fi cameras to keep your house secure, you should rethink that warm, fuzzy feeling. Over the last year, criminals have discovered and started using Wi-Fi jammers in their pursuit for easy money, even near Detroit.
Oh no, we live near Detroit.
Things to know? Set up alerts for when your cameras go offline. Review your footage weekly. If you see strangers, keep track of when and what they were doing and what they were wearing. Invest in wired cameras. No Wi-Fi camera is unjammable. Cellular-based cameras are subject to jamming as well. Don't broadcast what brand cameras you have with signs and stickers.
I love him. Video tours the best friend.
But basically, that's all. What's the likelihood it's going to happen to you? I don't know. Nobody does, but they're doing it. So just something to be aware of. And especially if you tell everyone you have wireless cameras, then they know you have wireless cameras with those signs and the stickers. So don't do that. I wouldn't even, if I had a security system on my house, I wouldn't put the, hey, I have like Brinks or this on my house, because anyone that is a sophisticated, criminal will know how or find a way to disable that specific system. You're taking the guesswork out of the problem, so by telling them what you have. So I wouldn't do that.
My son with the Rottweiler on.
That works.
All right, thank you, Brent. So NAR put out a new podcast recently. They just launched it in May called Advocacy Scoop. And this is a podcast that I recommend everybody subscribe to because it's going to give you insight as to what our lobbyists are working on in DC on our behalf. With all the changes going on, it's important to know why it is we belong to an association and support our association, because our association supports us with what they're doing, to fight for better policy in our nation's capital. So that's the new podcast that I'm recommending everybody subscribe to. They've only got 2 real episodes out so far, and they're each about 15 minutes. We drive around all the time. There's no reason you can't spend a little bit of time in your car listening to stuff that will further keep you in the loop about what's happening to our industry and our profession. Likewise, the Center for Realtor Development podcast, this has been going on for years. This is one, who here does already listen to this one? Anybody? No? I'm the only podcast nerd in here? Okay. Well, this one, it's hit or miss sometimes, but every so often it is a fantastic podcast on occasion. Some episodes I kind of just gloss over, but that's another one though that, NAR is creating this content for us because we're NAR members, and so it's meant to be helpful to us. We belong to NAR. We should utilize the resources they're providing to improve our professionalism, our skill set. So subscribe to both of them if you have not already. The insider email went out last night. I wanted to highlight very first thing in it was meet Monique. Rob has lined up a representative from Showing Time Plus that anybody who's having trouble with Showing Time Plus, Thursday at 3 o'clock, you can use the link in the insider email to join the Zoom with Monique and Rob and everybody. And she'll be able to hopefully help answer questions. Yes.
Just FYI, you have to use their photographers and their, you can't use your own people when you're doing that.
Your photographer has to be registered, approved through them.
But they have to have, they have to have the equipment, but when I saw the difference,
Yes.
when I saw the difference between the outcome, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that you get as quality of a tour using that equipment. Just FYI, I mean, I witnessed them side by side.
Yeah. I'm the type, I don't normally do virtual tours on my listings. I just on Friday got photos taken in a virtual tour to make it a showcase listing. So I'm doing a virtual tour that otherwise I'd not be doing at all. And my photographer is the same photographer that I would be hiring to do still photographs regardless. And so for me, it's a leveling up of what I'm providing for my clients. But if you already have like a quality virtual tour and you think yours is better, then it's very possible. And you don't have
just
to.
FYI, I don't think you're gonna take your own stuff, your own photographer. I mean, mine is certified, but she will not, do it.
Yeah, I mean, from day one when I've been talking about this, the photographs, the marketing material is the biggest hurdle to the whole process. Is that you can't just click a button and make your listing a showcase listing. You have to have the Zillow approved marketing materials in order to elevate your listing to that status. Kevin.
Didn't Zillow acquire Showing Time a couple years ago?
Yes.
Yes.
So Showing Time is owned by Zillow.
Yes.
So they control.
Yeah.
So I've done 6 Showing Time listings so far. I think they come out great.
Yeah.
Just as another perspective.
Yeah. No,
And I love my former photographer, but I like my listings to look pretty better.
yeah. I mean, I'm getting my first one on this week, and so I'll relay my experience next Tuesday once it's all up and running and I can see the outcome. I've heard some more stories. So it is one of those though where it's a new thing and they provided training. Some of the stories I've heard when they were relaying what happened, in my head it's like, okay, I had caught during the training how to prevent some of that, but I wasn't there when they were trained and maybe their trainer didn't tell them how to prevent some of those hiccups. And so it's like, it's a new thing if you've never done it, and so you got to be very careful on making sure the photos that are highlighted and all that are the ones you want, and how you can change that yourself. So it is a process, but that's where we now have Monique on our team. So Monique is our resource to go to if you have questions, and hop on that Zoom Thursday at 3 o'clock to meet her, and she'll be something that we can utilize for this process. We only have another month and a half of it though. After June, we're no longer getting free credits for it. So this is 3 months in which we get 3 listings to do this with for free that RE/MAX of Michigan is paying for on our behalf.
I still don't get that email.
You still don't get that. I've checked.
I'm not getting it either.
I have audited, and everybody in our office is on the MailChimp. It maybe is going to your spam.
I'll check with you.
And even if you don't get it in your email, there's 2 other places. Who can name the 2 other places where you can find this?
Facebook.
KV Core.
KV Core, thank you. Yes, if you log into KV Core, the link is in your announcements up at the top. You have the link to this. If you go on the Facebook group, there's a link. Rob posted a link last night. As soon as he sends out the email, he posts it to Facebook as well. So it should be in your email, it may be getting flagged as spam. I made sure everybody in our office, their email is in our MailChimp system that sends this out. And so if it's not there, though, you still have 2 other options to get it. And I appreciate those who paid attention to know where to find it. All right, so the calendar for the month. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Detroit, and so with Nicole also in Denver. The other of us will be here tomorrow, unfortunately. There's a Remax Michigan event in Detroit I'm going to be at. But Thursday, we have a couple different things. We have commission and scripts. Can you ask for more? Rob is putting on this training, navigating the likely conversations that we're going to be having because of all the changes with commissions, and how to, overcome those objections and just handle the situation with whatever you may come across now. Rob's putting that on in Ann Arbor, 10 o'clock. They do have the capacity to stream over Zoom, but I recommend going down to Ann Arbor and doing it in person, especially something like this. If you actually want to participate in the, and ask questions and all that, it'll be a better experience if you're down there. And then right after it, he has started a new agent roundtable discussion at 11 o'clock on Thursdays. We had one last week on Thursday, the first one. So any newer agents, we're just beginning. We have a whole bunch of new ones in Ann Arbor, and everybody across our Remax Platinum family. They're all invited to participate. It's people who are just beginning their real estate career, and you can then see what your peers, what challenges they're facing, and overcoming it as they learn some of the fundamentals and just get started. So everybody's welcome to attend that as well. Any questions about Thursday? And so really on Thursday you have 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock is Monique. So a lot of stuff up here. On Friday, ABR. So I went ahead and I finished the whole ABR class, and I did the test, and then I was able to just follow the process, and so yesterday I got my email saying that I am now officially an ABR designee. And so on Friday, anybody who wants to get to this point, show up. I can help. What I found by taking the class, even though they say it's a 12-hour class, you don't actually have to be logged in for 12 hours. I had 6 hours of screen time when I took the test, and that was they didn't stop me at any point. I was able to get to this, and I've only had 6 hours logged in. The test itself, you got to pass 75%. It's 40 questions. So you can get up to 10 wrong and still pass. I got 5 wrong. When I looked at which ones I got wrong, it didn't show me what the answers were, and I still don't know what the right answers were. Some of the questions are a little finicky. But it's a doable test. And so, if you want to get to this point, show up on Friday, and I will make sure you can do that. It's not hard. I have not had to pay a single dime yet. I think that starting next year when I could renew it, I'll have to pay. But yeah, and so the other thing though, if you've never done any other classes through the NAR course material, finishing the ABR class is only one component. You then also have to have an elective. Now I've done several of the electives, the At Home with Diversity, the Pricing Strategy Advisor, the ePro. There's several of them that in the past I'd already done. If you've not done any certification, extracurricular electives, that you'll still need to do one of that to get to this point, and because the ABR class is only one component of the big thing. I did have to go through and find 5 transactions in the MLS where it showed that I was the buyer's agent on it. And so then fill out the form saying, here's the address, here's my client name, here's when it closed. And so when I sent that into them, I'm assuming they checked it against the MLS system. Maybe they didn't, maybe it was a word of honor type thing. But yeah, so I mean, there's a little bit more to it than just the class to make it to this point. But yes.
When I did my ABR, I didn't have to take a test. I just thought that was, okay. I was through GMAR, but I just think that that's interesting that you had to take a test. But I think maybe they wait, I don't know, I didn't.
Well, I mean, maybe if you did the in-person class where you're there for 2 days,
yeah.
you know, maybe the test is
Okay.
because, you know, you could simply click through and get to the end, and then, you know, they have to actually see if you paid attention. I don't know.
Okay, I just thought that was just.
Yeah.
It's like any other online, you always take a test at the end or every so often throughout the course, so.
Yeah. Any other questions about this?
Is there a deadline for them leaving that open for free?
It's, I think the remainder of this year is when you can register for it for free, and then when you register, you have 1 year to take it. So if you've not yet registered for ABR, you can still do so for free. And then whenever you register, you have, that starts a 1 year clock before your class expires. From ABR, the 6th module, the final one, was like a big picture module, and something from it was like the 4 important things, the big takeaways from the class, and you know what it is that we should be getting from ABR. Now this right here is available on the back table. It's a checklist, or not a checklist, it's basically a self-assessment of your current skill level in all these different components. It's just for you to reflect on, okay, can you explain goals of a buyer consultation for you and the client? Or would you be able to speak, intelligently about the goals of a buyer consultation? Is that something you are confident you can do? Give yourself a high score. If not, on the back table, there's a whole sheet of these. And because with that being the 4 big picture components of why we were doing ABR, I took this assessment and then I decided to create a survey that I sent out this morning that I want to get your feedback. If you do the self-assessment and you realize that, yeah, you are weak in a couple spots, you're strong in a couple other spots, we're here at RE/MAX for the purposes of lifting you up and helping improve your skill level. So do the self-assessment that's on the back table, and then fill out the survey, which is just the same stuff. So communicate your value proposition. Would you want to see a class on that? Because it's on the survey here, clearly communicate your value proposition to a client. If that's something you're weak on, then maybe you should ask us to do a class on it. So, there's 18 class possibilities in the survey that I emailed out this morning based on this assessment. So I'm asking everybody, if you want to see me put on any classes on the training calendar in the future, here's a good way to give me the feedback, to give me some direction as to what it is you need in this company. Because otherwise, I'm just shooting in the dark lately, and sometimes it's good, sometimes not. I would rather have some feedback from our agents, and I figure this is a good way to do it because this assessment is what we should be striving to be strong in everything on here. And if you're not, that's my job then, is to help you get strong in all this. That all makes sense? All right? Does everybody understand where this would be found in their email? And so all you gotta do is, if you want to see that as a class, just hit the yes button and just keep scrolling. Should take less than a minute to do the whole survey. So hopefully we get some responses. All right, Con Ed opportunities. A week from tomorrow, May 22nd, we have 2 classes being held here in the auditorium from Trademark Inspection Services. The first one is about squatters and property owners' rights. That's a 1-hour Con Ed class that they've created, and should be pretty fascinating stuff. And then the second hour is a fair housing Con Ed. They already held this for us up in Fenton, but if you didn't catch it up there in Fenton, They're doing it here, and this is one that you are now required each year to have fair housing, just like legal Con Ed. And so this one will satisfy that requirement for your annual Con Ed requirements. So I did also then send out the registration form this morning. So just like the registration form for last week's Con Ed, the same thing, just fill it out. And you can attend either in person or virtually to receive credit. Any questions?
That's kind of a strange question.
Yeah.
Can you bring any guests to the squatters and property portion?
Yes, absolutely. Are they an agent?
No. Are they a squatter?
The reason why I asked.
We don't want to teach them.
Teaches them all the rules.
Teach them just how to squat.
Yes, all these classes are open to everybody. Ideally, bring a real estate agent friend who you can show them the value of Remax Platinum agent and help expand our family here. But yeah, even if it's just somebody from the public that we are a community resource, and our education opportunities. If you think somebody from the public would enjoy the material, yeah, definitely.
Another question, when are we going to have our Con Ed?
That's not a question for me, that's a question for Bill.
We're working on it.
All right.
How hard
It's
are
probably going to be after August.
December 31st.
Really?
Yes, really. We're working on it. Our resource for the outlines has not been responsive, so we're trying to get other outlines, and they take a while to prepare, and then I have to have an opportunity to read it and look at it, and so it's probably going to be August or later. But it'll have all 6 hours that you need, including fair housing, once we get it. So, and you have until the end of the year, from August till the end of the year to take it, so.
And I mean, with all these Con Ed things we're offering, I mean, you know what, Bill, to be honest, I don't even know. The Con Ed that you put on, what, if somebody's doing like every Con Ed opportunity and they get like 12 hours of Con Ed from these free classes, are they still going to need to do?
No.
No, okay.
I mean, mine fulfills the need for their license. It'll have legal, fair housing, won't have ethics.
So
the only thing mine doesn't cover is ethics.
Okay.
So if you can pick up another hour of ethics somewhere along the line, you should do that.
But yeah, and if I can find somebody to come in and add to the calendar the legal Con Ed and the ethics Con Ed, then you don't have to do 6 hours of Con Ed in one day. You can be spreading it out through all these different classes throughout the year, as long as they're hitting your different requirements like fair housing and legal and ethics. Cool. All right. Lisa Gatto is not here. I wasn't sure if she was going to show up, so I added a little slide on her behalf. Mel Robbins' podcast, she talked about it at the beginning of the year, and I've been listening to it. And a couple weeks ago, one of the things that was mentioned on her podcast I thought was pretty interesting and kind of relevant to us as agents. It's a question. What is the most predictive indicator for who's the most popular person in high school? Which they it's the captain of the sports team, the prom queen. Like, if you had to name one thing to describe the person who is most popular,
Tell me I'm wrong.
any thoughts or suggestions as to what that would be?
The loudest.
The loudest?
Most outgoing.
Big boobs.
Most outgoing? Okay.
Hey, it's true. Don't say it ain't true.
Oh, boy.
Because, in general, don't we want to be the most popular real estate agent? Like, that's what we're kind of striving for, right? Is popularity, in our sphere, in our community. We want to be popular and people to be reaching out to us and turning to us for real estate. In high school, what studies have found is that the person who is most popular consistently, when ranked or told to list the number of people that they like, their list of the people that they like is longer than everybody else's. And so if you, just in your day-to-day, you make the intention of liking more people, just trying to have a positive attitude towards others, that's going to reciprocate in you being more popular. So the more people that you can put on your list of, these are people that I like, better chance of you being a little more popular. That's a Mel Robbins thing I thought was kind of cool, and I appreciated Lisa Brigado putting me onto that podcast. Any thoughts? No? Okay.
Good morning, let's get those lights back on, let's get it going. Very cool, yeah. Nobody likes me, but that's okay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, shout out to Tanya, she's been great. We've done a couple referrals now. I had one homeowner that's going to work out, one that didn't, but I was able to find another avenue. So, being in the industry for as many years as I have, I do have quite a list of contacts at other companies and things like that, and I'm never gonna, try and work someone over so I can get the business versus putting someone in the best spot. So that's really all I've got this week. Keep your referrals coming if you can. Does anyone have any insurance questions? Anybody gotten held up on insurance at all to keep you from closing or anything like that? All right. Thanks a lot. What's up, everybody out there in listener land? Yeah, I got to skate a little early today. We have a meeting up in Flint with a representative of a company or something. But beyond that, I'll be here Tuesdays and Fridays. If you ever want to swing by, Kevin, I know we got to kind of circle back at some point here, or at least I'd like to. But otherwise, you guys have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
Tanya.
So I didn't prepare anything really. I just wanted to share. Good morning. Good morning. So very often it'll come up where someone will contact me to do a mortgage, and then ultimately what it results in is they really don't want a mortgage. They just need a means to an end, so they need some sort of short-term financing. They haven't sold their previous home, they want to put a non-contingent in, but their intention is get a mortgage, sell their house, and pay that mortgage off really quickly. So probably those in the room and probably even those watching have heard me say, like, we can't do short-term financing. So I just want to explain that because I feel like people get frustrated when I tell them that. So it's called an EPO, an early payoff. So for lenders who lend the money, they don't make money on mortgages until they're at least 1 to 3 years in age. So anything that's short-term is a huge loss. So for us, we have expenses. We have one staff member. Credit reports now are $83 a pull. We initially start with a soft credit inquiry, then we do a hard credit inquiry. So now we're talking 2 borrowers, we're up to $326, 40, 70, whatever dollars in credit reports. People who have been looking for houses for years, which I have people who've been out there for years, we may have pulled 10 credit reports. So you have a lot of costs and things involved in doing things. But this early payoff thing, what it is a lender's going to pay us a commission. So we get paid a commission from that lender, and it's the same amount regardless what lender we go to. Brokers, who are us, small teams, there's very few actual brokers remaining anymore. A lot of them are lenders, not brokers. We get paid less than anybody else in the industry because we got really kind of like the tightest reins after the fallout in 2009, 10 or whatever. But anyway, so if we make 2% on our mortgages, we get paid on the same scale no matter what lender we go to. So let's say on a $300,000 mortgage, we get paid $6,000. So if I get paid 1% of that, I get paid gross $3,000. Keep in mind, even though we're commissioned, we get taxed. So I bring home $2,000. So if we have somebody pay off a loan in that 6 months, I write a check for $3,000. So I bring home $2,000, but I need to write a check for $3,000. So it's not a feel-good feeling. So I apologize if it hurts anybody's feelings when I say, hey, we can't do that, because we can't. I mean, seriously, there's not enough business to think about paying to write and close loans for free or to pay actually write checks for them. So I would just strongly suggest that if you have people you work with that have homes that are free and clear and they're shopping in the market, they need to kind of do their due diligence in the pre-stage of looking at homes versus post-stage. This weekend I had somebody who was in Dire Straits on Saturday. They were trying to get hold of me. I was in Meyer. Meyer doesn't have great connection. I got out of there, called the guy back, and he's like, I need you to get a pre-approval. I want to put an offer in. I'm like, great. I said, I'm out doing errands, but I'll be home, you know, about an hour and a half. Well, then his agent's texting me, you need to do it now because he has to put an offer because he's going out for Mother's Day dinner with his family tonight. So I said, okay, I'll run home, put my errands aside, go home, blah, blah. Guess what? He doesn't want a mortgage. So I'm super happy about paying $160 on a credit report and doing a letter for somebody who does not want a mortgage and breaking out my errands. Then we go to leave the house again and there's an accident outside our stop and we're stuck there for 2 hours. So I was not pleased about it, and I'm not trying to be negative Nelly. I like a lot of people. My list is very long, but it is frustrating. I just want to share you some of the options that people do have, and I've suggested this to people in the past too. If you own a home free and clear, you can set up a line of credit, a home equity line of credit today and not use it for 6 months, so you're not paying any interest. So if you buy a home, you could potentially just write a check off that line of credit, and that's a very good solution. For some other people, a bridge loan may be good, but a bridge loan too, you're also kind of putting the dagger into the lender doing the bridge loan, because if you still are ultimately going to pay off that loan that you're taking out, then they lose money and there's penalties for that too. So my suggestion is, if people own their home free and clear, I know oftentimes we think, I have a great buyer, you know, they're super qualified. They're not always in the greatest position, so it's super, 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 super good to have them review what their options are in advance. There's been times where I've had people who thought about paying off their mortgage and decide not to. I've had people who do also pay down their mortgage and not actually pay it off. So certainly we'll work with those people too. People who might borrow $300,000, but then they end up paying down $200,000. Now they only owe $100,000. Some people like to keep their payment the same, so they pay out the $100,000 more rapidly. Or we can do what's called a recast, or I shouldn't say we, because I'm out of the equation at that point. But if someone has a lump sum, they owe $300,000, they sell a home and they want to put $200,000 down, they can do what's called a recast, apply that $200,000, they have $100,000 left, and it's re-amortized. So now they all of a sudden have a tiny payment versus the big payment, because that's what they were afraid of in the first place. So there's options, and I just want to make sure you're aware of that, and make sure you put people in front of a lender early enough so that people understand their options versus their backs against the wall, or someone saying like, you know, I really don't need your services, but I really do need you to spend time and money on getting my approval letter together. So that's all I have to share. Any questions for me today? I like all of you for showing up. Thank you.
So the good news is I just had some volunteers come forth to help me teach ethics when I get around to doing a Con Ed class, and Nick Natoli and Joe Darwish are going to be on a panel for ethics.
Oh no.
Sorry. What are you laughing at?
I know, that was a big laugh.
What? Why is that funny? I don't know why that's funny.
It'll be a fun class.
Everybody's guaranteed to pass.
Talk about people who like people. In my homeroom class back in high school, there was a guy that sat right behind me. I was R and he was W, and the homerooms were alphabetical. His name was Leslie Allen Williams. Anybody remember him? He turned out to be a serial killer. He killed 8 women in Oakland County in the 1980s. I don't think he had many people on his like list. Just saying. He buried them all on Old Plank Road out in
Milford, I know, I remember.
He's still
Yeah, you remember that. Yep.
That was your buddy?
Oh my goodness.
No, I didn't really know him, but he sat behind me and he rode my bus to school in the morning. So yeah, there was a lot of phone calls exchanged when he was captured by everybody in our high school class.
He had a long list too.
Yeah, he might have. I don't know if he had a long list or a short list. He wasn't very popular. Anyway, I have free Lug Nuts tickets for Thursday night's game. All you can eat food. Anybody want them? The weather's supposed to be good. If anybody wants them, come to my office and see me. I'm happy to give them to you. So insurance at closing. So you'll see over here, I gotta turn the light on. I'm old, my eyes don't work so well.
We need light.
Oh, look.
Look at that.
So I wrote 14, 15, and 16 up here. So on the 14th, the buyer was in either Florida or California, it doesn't matter. We sent all the paperwork to the buyer on the 14th. He signed the deed, the mortgage, and all the closing documents. And he sent them back to us, overnighted them back to us. Now, in the mortgage documents, it said that the mortgage wasn't going to fund until the 16th. Mr. DeCrube was the seller. He had insurance all the way through to the 16th. Okay, he didn't cancel the insurance until the 16th. Mr. Buyer insurance, because the mortgage said it wasn't going to fund till the 16th, he didn't get homeowner's insurance to take effect until the 16th. What happened on the 15th?
The house burned down.
No.
Flooded.
Squatters.
Hail.
Hailstorm. You remember the big, huge hailstorm that came through? Destroyed the roof on this house. Our insurance carrier that had insurance all the way to the 16th through our friends at Barnhart, Grumman Marsh, are taking the position that this closed when the buyer and the seller executed the deed, the mortgage, and all the closing documents. Mr. Buyer's insurance company is saying, we didn't have insurance for you on the 15th, so your only avenue is to go back to Mr. DeCrube's insurance carrier. Mr. DeCrube's insurance carrier is saying, well, wait a minute. This didn't close until the money was distributed on the 16th. So we don't have coverage either. So you're SOL. You have no insurance coverage because it closed on the 14th. You should have had insurance, Mr. Buyer, on the 14th. So this hail damage is on you. We got a lawsuit on Thursday from Mr. Buyer suing us for the hail damage. And so now our insurance company has to defend their position that this closed on the 14th.
I'm just curious how a mortgage was executed without the insurance effective that date.
Well, it was executed on this date, but the mortgage said it wasn't going to fund until this date.
Well, we and any of our lenders, we can't initiate documents for a date prior to the date of the insurance, so that's puzzling to me.
This is it was a greenstone mortgage, is all I can tell you, and they didn't fund it until the 16th. So Mr. DeCrube didn't get paid for his property until the 16th. So our position has been all along that, hey, we should cover this. Our insurance carrier should cover this because it didn't close until the day after the hail damage. But our insurance carrier disagrees with Mr. DeCrube's position. So we are having a little internal between our insurance carrier and us, I've sent them a letter saying, what are you doing? I mean, we should have coverage because we didn't get paid until this day. So
what's the date on the deed?
I don't think they care.
What? 14th. Everything was dated the 14th. Okay? Except for the mortgage. It was very clear in the mortgage closing instructions that it wasn't going to fund until the 16th.
So it basically closed in escrow?
No.
No?
No, we have no close in escrow form or document or anything. It just, they were out of state. So we were waiting for the documents to come back, right? So the mortgage company knew that they were out of state, knew it was going to take time to get the original documents back, so they said they would fund on the 16th. And everybody knew that. So we'll see what a judge has to say. I think our insurance company is wrong, and I think they're going to end up having to pay for the hail damage, but so far I haven't been able to persuade them.
And I would think the exact opposite.
Well, no money changed hands.
I know,
That's my argument.
But
they agreed upon that.
They agreed that the home was no longer in somebody's name, the mortgage was executed.
It would add to the complexity. Everything was recorded, I think, on the 21st. So the deed, the mortgage, all the documents, so the world didn't know that it closed until the 21st.
Well, I guess I'm kind of confused.
And Michigan, let me add that Michigan is a race notice state, so if someone had filed a lien or something in here, it would have taken priority over the mortgage because it's a race notice state and doesn't technically take effect until it's recorded. Colleen?
I feel like that situation could happen every single day. We
I know, it's scary.
We have that happen every day with people closing off-site one day, the next day. I mean,
why I'm bringing it up to you is there would be no issue whatsoever if the buyer would have gotten coverage effective this day.
The day of signing. So
Right? If he would have got coverage the day of signing, there would be no issue.
And that would happen with every single one of our loans.
Yeah, maybe it was double. It would have been double covered for a couple days.
But that's all right.
But you're in a much better situation if Mr. Buyer has insurance and he's fighting about whether or not, maybe they'll split it. The insurance companies can fight that out without lawsuits happening. But Mr. Buyer had no coverage until the 16th.
Do you
when
think
the
it doesn't
mortgage was
happen
dispersed.
as much because good mortgage lenders don't let it happen?
But
I
now
mean,
Possibly.
who's the mortgage lender on that?
Yeah, it was green. I mean, it was Greenstone, and
And I
they're
feel like they
usually
do things
pretty
so
good.
manually
But
there, that there was,
They
there's
just
no
don't know how
I
to
think the
do
biggest,
let me tell
the biggest issue.
I just had a mortgage guy from Greenstone yesterday ask us to send him an example of a proof of, or I'm sorry, what do you call it?
Disclosure?
No, whatever you.
Pre-approval?
Approval.
Oh, okay.
Approval. He didn't even know how to do an approval. He was giving us something that was not an approval for these people. And he didn't know how to do it because it was a regular home loan, so just beware of Greenstone.
Right. So the issue for y'all, if you are giving your buyer advice, is for him to have coverage on day one when he signs stuff, no matter where he's at. And he could have done that easily enough had he called his carrier, but he didn't. Yes.
Thank you. I just love these stories because it's like, it's fun because you can tell with buyers, I love the story about the title insurance.
Yeah, this lawsuit happened Thursday.
No, thank you.
You said that the buyer signed the deed on the 14th.
Joe signed it, I'm sorry, before he sent it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe signed it.
The deed was executed.
The deed was executed here on the 14th. All the rest of the closing documents went to him in Florida, the mortgage and all that stuff. And he signed it. He had a copy of the deed that Joe had already signed. So yeah, I misspoke about the deed, thanks. So B, go.
Well, I don't quite know how to say it, but it doesn't matter who insures a home, does it? I could have had insurance on that home as long as it went to the 16th.
Well, you have to have an insurable interest.
Right.
So you have to have some interest in the property. He certainly, we'll find out what a judge says, but I think he could have gotten insurance on the 14th because he had an insurable interest, he had a purchase agreement, everything was signed on the 14th. So I think he could have easily secured insurance for that day. But his position and his lawyer's position is, hey, it wasn't really a deal until the money changed hands. If something would have happened in here and Joe would have thrown up his hands and said, we're done with this deal, we're not doing it, it's arguable whether there was a closing because no money changed hands. So that's going to be, that's our position and has been our position because, Joe wants to maintain a good, Joe doesn't want to get sued by this guy, right? And he wants his insurance company to pay it, and our insurance company is saying, nope,
Well, keys don't change hands until the money's.
Peace.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yes, I mean, it didn't it closed basically in escrow. No keys changed, no money's changed. It was closed in escrow. So Joe still owns the house.
Preaching to the choir. That's complete.
I mean, how many times have we fought over keys in the same situation?
Buyers still have to get their insurance effective the date of their signing. That's exactly.
Yeah, now that's what shocks me.
In my world, this is 26 years here and 10 years as a banker. Never, ever, 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 never been allowed. Greenstone.
And Greenstone took the position they didn't need insurance until the 16th.
Just because they didn't send out a wire, I mean, who cares?
Well, then they should be paying for the roof.
I don't know.
Pardon me?
They should be paying for the roof then.
Good luck with that. Anyway, so that's my interesting insurance at close story. So just make sure they have insurance. It's important.
Yeah, don't steal stuff.
So
That back.
So Joe had already signed the deed over to him, and the guy already had the deed for the property, but Joe didn't get his money
It was a
yet?
copy.
He had a copy.
It was a copy. The original was at the title company, waiting for the mortgage and all the buyer's documents to come back. Because we knew that it wasn't going to disperse until this date. So we intended to hold the mortgage, hold the deed, everything, like she said, hold it in escrow, right? Until it was dispersed on the 16th. That's what we did. We'll see. A judge will tell us who's going to pay. I'll let you know.
Yeah, keep us posted on that.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need this stress on
That's
anything
interesting.
else.
There's no stress for him, it's insurance companies.
Update on the market. As you can see, the number available continues to grow. We're at 2 months of inventory now. Beginning of March, we're at 1.6 months. So, I mean, it's just steadily, you can look at each week and see, okay, the number of pendings outpace the new, things like that. But, I mean, things are coming onto the market more quickly than they're coming off the market overall. So the inventory is growing. And so your buyers should have more opportunities. But, I mean, all of these pending, I mean, there's strong numbers where your listings should still feel confident, like, hey, if they're priced right, they should be moving. If you're not getting offers, the price drops. That's the only reason in this market for it not to be selling. So, thoughts on market stats, what you're seeing? Anything? All right. We have some new listings that people wanted to tell you.
We have one that is in the MLS right now for showings to start on Thursday as coming soon. It's on Blue Heron Drive in Highland Township, 1243. It's 1,815 square feet with an additional 625 in the basement. It's a quad, really great, solid house. Of course, with all the amenities of Dunham Lake access, which is an amazing little lake over there, for $359.9. Great price for.
How many bedrooms?
Oh, sorry. 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Got a great listing that just hit the market. It is 2.3 mil. It is total 66 in square footage. It's got floor to ceiling glass panel windows, overlooks Oak Creek, that contribute to Lake Shannon. It's on 1.56 acres. It is a custom AZD built home, absolutely gorgeous, stunning. If you have anybody interested, I can send you over the QR code for it so that you can send it to them. We're already getting showings on it, so I don't expect it to last long.
I apologize.
Oh, and a gun range too, that's right. Yes, I forgot about the gun range. Gun range, golf simulator. It's got a beautiful in-ground pool. This house, there's nothing missing. It's an entertainer's delight.
You used an acronym I'm not familiar with. ACD build?
AZD, that's the builder, that's the architect. That's the architect, and then the builder is Kelly Brothers. Absolutely gorgeous. Look up the company. They put together the most custom-built, gorgeous contemporary house.
What was the price of it?
2.3. And it is, I mean, it is stunning, nothing missing.
It's amazing, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I wanna buy it, but I can't afford it.
Well, we were talking about going in on it and all of us living there, so.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Girls
I'm
only.
in. I'm in.
Girls only.
Crash it. So I've had a couple of really cool things going on right now. I've got that schoolhouse out on Parker's Corners in Weberville, and my client just did a very big price drop, and she is totally motivated. So if you've got anybody at all that's kind of a big dreamer, wants to have a home business, wedding venue, any kind of makers, anything like that, let me know, and I'll get you into the building. So it's got some financing requirements. It needs a 5% down renovation purchase loan, which can be done through a variety of different lenders. But
What's the price point now?
$475. But Keisha, I think your client actually has the listing. I've seen your name on the list. But she's motivated, so bring an offer. Yep.
They were looking for something.
Yep.
And I've seen that also, and
It's
it is so cool.
Mine makes my heart go pitter patter, but all of my stuff does. The other really cool thing I've got coming up, and I've been working on this for, 6-8 months now, is we're breaking ground on a new development in Howell Township. And we've got our sales trailer out there. We're finishing Pine View condominiums right across from Citizens off of M59 and Brewer Road. 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. The 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms have private bathrooms upstairs. So like a roommate situation, it's perfect. Everybody's got their own bathroom. And we've got some pretty sophisticated finishes too. We've flipped the floor plan around. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old Pine View floor plan where you walk up and the kitchen's right in the middle. We moved the kitchen over to the door wall side, expanded it. We've got a couple of floor plans that have an optional glass wall to the den, and it's just, it is really spectacular. Before I list it, I will share it on our Facebook page, and I'll do an email blast on it. It's 3 stories. The first one that I'm listing this week is going to be $317,900, and then I've got a 3-bedroom that's going to be I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I think it's going to be around $365,000, but it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car tandem garage, custom Lafada cabinets, quartz counters, 9-foot ceilings. So it's pretty cool. So I won't have anything to walk through until probably September, but we're doing reservations now, and oh my God. The biggest thing is it's rural development approved.
Oh, that's awesome.
And VA approved. I've got a lender in there right now that's doing a resale, and the RD should be closing soon. So if you've got RD buyers that have been sitting on the fence, RD rates are actually a little bit lower than conventional right now. And I believe the income maximum for RD is $134 for a single and $174 for a family for dual income. So it's some pretty good income limits there. So yeah, I don't know if I forgot anything. Sorry to rattle on, but I'm really excited about the project. It's going to be, it's going to absorb my life for about the next 2.5 years, but
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it'll be good stuff.
What's the association fee, Michelle?
Oh, HOA cost is one of the lowest in Livingston County. It's only $220 a month. Yep. I know I've seen a lot of them go up like in the 3s or high 2s, but $220 a month. They're 3 stories, so they're the townhouse style. But you know, it's a great floor plan.
Well, there's a need for that with all the younger buyers out there, and that's a great price point.
Yeah, I was thinking, people are getting divorced, younger professionals. You got to commute to Lansing or Ann Arbor. You're right off the expressway. You're less than 2 miles to the expressway and less than 2 miles to downtown Howell. So.
Anybody else out? Oh.
On the other end of the spectrum, at 209, a cute little ranch down in Allen Park. Really nice, just it's perfect setup for anybody from individuals to families. 4-bedroom, 2 baths, and trees went down, and been working together with them to get it fixed up. So it's a turnkey. It's really pretty. If you know anybody downriver, obviously a very friendly price. Right here. Buyers explain that to you today.
I'll make note, I have one, in Hidden Lake, it's a condo, the only luxury condo for the county, we're listed at $750. It's on Stony Creek. Yeah, Stony Creek, I don't know. But I had it listed for about a month last year and they changed their mind, but, now they did buy something and or something. And so, yeah, I mean, if you have anybody that wants a luxury condo, there's no other condos anywhere in the area at this price point, but, I mean, they put over $750 into it when they built new a couple years ago. And there's only one lot left in the complex that, I think is at $820 to build brand new, so.
Is that Hidden Lake?
Yeah.
It's not on the market yet.
No, I'm having it coming soon today, it'll hit on Friday, it's active. Yeah, and it's like if somebody wants, Hidden Lake, there's boat slips available, so you can get the amenities of being in that community without paying millions to be actually on the lake.
Possible coming soon also, it's in downtown Howell. It's a 1,300 square foot, 2-story, cutely remodeled inside. She did a really nice job, nice corner lot, and it's probably gonna be right about that 285 mark, but it's a dollhouse. That one will go fast.
I have, it's in Caseville, it's actually just below Caseville, going to the end of the week, and it should be, have listing, probably coming soon next week. 2 lots, one, and they're going together, about a whole acre between the two, but the one piece has got 50 foot of seawall to get out to the bay of Lake Huron. It goes with it. So it's off of Port Austin Road. So the main house, there was a house on it years ago. There's a garage still, cement, electric's already there. There was a well and septic, but the house was torn down. So right around 70,000 is what he wants. So I'll go up and have pictures with a better idea end of the week.
How much does it take to get there?
It's about a little over 2.5 hours. Because it's on, Dan Davenport says it's the better side of the thumb. He says it's the best part. He goes, and the water's fine. So it's on the east side of the thumb. So it's just south of Caseville. I think the actual mailing address is Pigeon, but it's McKinley Township, but it gets you to the big water. So that's the plus. And it's beautiful, what I've seen so far, the pictures. So there's other developments around it. And I called, so everything. With the electric there, that's one less thing to do.
Anybody else? Not, we can wrap this
You
up.
have one more that your mom told me not to let you forget.
Okay, fine. So Ruth is listing her home next week, a ranch in Heartland Estates, 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, finished walkout, gonna be listed at $560. My parents, when they built it 20 years ago, chose the lot as arguably one of the best ones in the subdivision, so it's just a good opportunity to get into Heartland Estates if you're any clients in that price range.
How many bedrooms?
It's 3 bedrooms on the main level. The basement has a non-conforming 4th and a 3rd. It's 3.5 baths.
Any updates or anything to it?
She's been updating it all spring. Granite kitchen and all that, but yeah, I mean, she's been getting it ready to list.
How much? Where's she going?
$560. Sorry.
Where's she going?
Alaska.
Alaska?
No, with my brother having a child next month, she's now sticking around, but gonna try to find a condo in the 30s. Probably.
The babies help you to want to not be too done. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, it's only, I split it.
Sorry, I got it.
That thing's for 2, and I didn't know what all this